Hey, we are here. We are brand new Suzume fans. Listen. We're here to recap the movie. It's a feel good movie. It's a feel good movie. Something that I can say we weren't really expecting, but I'm very glad we went to see this. KJ, what's the first reaction for you?
I think the word is beautiful. Honestly, like watching it, didn't know anything going into it. Obviously, same as you, but I caught myself just looking and not paying attention, but like you just got lost in the actual animation of the movie, and it was just like really, it was honestly like breathtaking. It was a great film to look at, and I enjoyed it. So I mean, it just
Yeah.
doubled up. So I was a big fan. You
Stunning. You're right. The grass. I was so into looking at the blades of grass so many different times and the breath, the clouds. It is a beautiful movie. I'm down to go see it again, honestly. It is breathtaking. And I don't know what it is about that movie combined with the song, but I feel a lot of peace within myself right now. I feel like a different person coming out of it. So I'm glad we went.
literally got lost in it, and it's funny you said it because, I mean, like you said, this is our first time watching it, but it's the same writer who did Your Name and Weathering with You, and they paired with the same soundtrack from the guys called Whips and Tanaka.
Okay.
But so this is the third time, so we brand new to it. I'm going back and I'm watching both. If not this week, at least next week. So I'm excited to see them because if it's anything like this, we really have been missing out on a whole genre of anime that I'm a little embarrassed to say that we're brand new to it
Yeah.
because we've seen so much. But that's really what it feels like. It's like, damn, like literally the door. Side note, the door is open for us when it comes to anime
I
now.
like
So
that. I like
I'm
that. Yeah,
excited.
we've been on the beat 'em up, power up. That's been the main thing we've been through. Any anime movie we've ever seen has been towards a show, right? We've never seen a separate standalone anime movie, but this has opened the door. We have a long list. We've gotten lists from a few of our friends, Monks, Bree, who've seen a lot of these movies. I was looking up your name earlier to see where I could find it and where I can watch it. It looks like we got a new website that we're going to utilize as
Chill out.
well.
Chill. Keep that on the low.
On the low. Hit us on the side if you need some links. But yeah, Your Name, Weathering. There's quite a few actually. I want to watch the Toro. Uh,
Totoro. Yeah.
yeah, I want to watch
Spirited
that.
Away. There's a
Spirit
few.
Away on
Yeah.
HBO Max and Toro is. Like, yeah, no, I'm down. We're gonna have to have some watch parties in the Discord or something, but this is definitely open things up for us. I agree.
And I think the main thing was for me, it was long, but it didn't feel long. It was like, damn, like I'm like, oh, we get more. And it's not often we get 2 hours of an anime movie.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to an hour and a half at most. And I mean, speaking of like Demon Slayer stuff, is half of its recap. This is 2 hours of just material that like
Oh
we've
no.
never seen.
Right.
And it's not like this came out last year in Japan. And we just now getting it. So it's just like they getting everything. We getting the leftovers, but
Right. I eat
I'm
them.
glad it made its way here.
Right.
I'll take them.
I'll eat the slop, man. I agree. Like I was in it and something would happen, and then it's like, okay, we're going to this new place. I'm like, okay, we're still going. Like it felt good. And I agree, like to have 2 solid hours of a movie, because there's no previous show to introduce the characters and all that. Like they got to give us everything at once, and they did it right, man. I felt like we really went on a journey. It was very cool to travel through Japan and see all these different places. I was looking up Kobe, Japan earlier today, actually. And I saw somebody on the YouTube say that they're going to want to travel to Japan and travel to all those places. I thought that was very cool. So it sounds like a lot of the previous movies, a lot of it is within Tokyo, but this
Okay.
one really opened things up and kind of like, okay, they went to different places, things like that. Saw a lot of different things. So very, very good movie, man. I absolutely loved it.
I knew it was good when I caught myself in the middle of the movie, like doing the math on the time. And I'm like, oh, damn, we only got 30 left. And I'm like, oh, it's got to be soon. I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for it to be over. And I don't do that often. It really
Hmm.
just depends on what's going on in the movie and what you feel like has to get done. But nothing felt rushed. Like, I mean, it felt like it timed out perfectly for what they had to deliver. I think they did a great job. Like, I mean, it was the perfect time frame for what had to be shown. And they made worth of every moment that you got to see. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I loved it. But like, anything stood out to you, like specifically from the movie? I mean, we kind of just got wrapped up in the beauty of it,
Yeah,
but I mean,
right.
we haven't even discussed the actual movie. So,
Um, a few things. So Suzume. in 2 hours has become one of my all-time favorite anime characters. Like, I
Fair.
just love her. I don't like the things she did, the things she strived for, risking her life, her innocence. She was special. Like, I'm a big Suzume fan, and I don't ever see her again in anything else. I'm going to be listing her in like my favorites. I'm not gonna lie. And I would say a big takeaway from me. And I wish that almost like everyone in the world could see this movie because it showed the kindness of strangers and
Mhm.
what we as people can accomplish if we do reach out, just kind of give a helping hand, maybe help somebody that we don't know. Like the fact that she met so many literal lifelong friends throughout this in each city. Like she found a way to impact somebody and people truly cared about her. The bartender, she was
Yeah.
so upset when she left. And I'm
Was
like, you
worried.
just met her 12. She was worried sick. Like that was her child. So that, I mean, even her and Sota, they just
Mhm.
met, and they went through this entire journey. They knew it was something important, something worthwhile. And, to just love somebody like that from jump, I think it was just really cool. I thought it was nice how they wrapped it up and she went back home with the aunt and they retraced her steps. So then it was
Mhm.
like for your aunt to be so stressed out and think your child was just going crazy or just for a boy, but then to see the impact she's had and the people she's met in this journey, like that had to just be so fulfilling for her to know like that she has this way of meeting people and kind of just, I don't know, getting in people's lives and kind of just being friends. Like I just thought that was really nice, and the kindness of strangers just went a long way for me.
I think the word is authenticity. Like I, I found myself. I was just like, oh, they really sleeping in her house, like just meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it felt so natural. Like, I'm not telling people to go sleep in somebody's house the first night you meet them, by no means. But it was just like, it was almost an initial. You knew they cared about each other in a way. It was just completely platonic, and as friends that you knew, like that they cared for that person, just for them, like their kindness, like you said. And it went such a long way. I mean, and it was just like you said, every city she met somebody who you would assume they call a lifelong friend, which
Mm-hmm.
I go down the street, I don't talk to nobody. I'm not doing that to nobody. So it's just
Right.
like, dang, maybe you should, just
Yeah.
say hi to somebody. I mean, you don't know the impact it's
100%.
gonna have.
Yeah,
Like,
and even the young one with the oranges, she's like, "I feel like you're doing something important." And yes, Suzume is saving the world. Okay, the next person you meet is not going to be saving the world, but
facts.
still, they could, be struggling, have something going on in their life. You never know what someone's going through, and yeah,
I think her name was it Chica or
Chica,
yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it was like Chica or Chica.
yeah.
Yeah, no, and it was cool. Well, we haven't really gotten to the movie too much, but like, for Sota, how he was, what happened, how it transpired, he turned into the chair. But when you talk about the oranges, he just automatically jumped to help
Hmm.
and ran, grabbed the net and caught all the oranges, and just that moment of his quick thinking kind of changed the script. She helped him get to the next gate and so on. So it's just like it's without a second thought. The same way the movie started with Suzume ran up to try to help shut the door. She
Hmm.
didn't think about it. It's just like
Right.
she just did it. So I'm like, sometimes your intuition, hey, roll with it. It might not always be right, but take a chance sometimes. It might help you out. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think really comments, we just jump around, things we saw. I'll tell you one thing at the end that was so cool. I did catch in the beginning. They kind of summarized a few images with clicking the key, right? And remember early on when she did her bike, she has to do her key on her bike. And just the way
mm,
they show it, she stick it in and then turn it. That's how she did all those doors. And it was just
uh,
really cool to kind of see it come together like that. Just subtle.
I mean, just from the opening scene of her riding down the hill
Mhm.
and looking out and seeing everything, that
Yeah.
was breathtaking. I was like, this is a good looking movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was the gates were great. Everyone, I liked how they were all different. You
Mhm.
had the original,
Yeah.
which was the door, and then you had the um, amusement park, and then I believe it was the tunnel.
The
Is that
tunnel
correct?
was
Yeah.
huge.
Which
Right.
I was,
Yeah.
oh, we danced. Like, we're not getting
Yeah.
all of
How
this.
we, how we closing this? Right.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. And speaking of the gate, you got the gatekeeper, the star of the show, in my opinion, Daijin.
Dodging.
Out here just doing it big. Was out here taking pictures with everybody on the subway, walking on the gates, and it was just cool to see. It was just like it was a complete shift of what you thought when you saw Dajin. You're like,
Yes.
oh, out here opening the gates,
Yes.
causing nothing but havoc. Turns out. literally leading them to the gates,
guiding them,
helping
right,
them, get to
right.
this point. And I just thought it was cool how they did it because he was so carefree. I don't know, it was just dope. I really like that part of it.
Daijin went first introduction, cutest thing in the world. And then when he cursed Sota, and then he's like, millions of people are gonna die. I'm like, this is the scariest thing in the world now. Back to the end when he was helping us, back to the cutest thing. And it was funny because halfway through the movie, I'm like, Daijin's this evil, but he's allowing people to record him and see him. If he didn't want to be followed, I'm like, he could easily avoid that. But then it made sense. He was wanting to be followed. This was a way for them to track him being seen in public. I'm like, okay, now this makes sense. Yeah.
That whole thing in its own right, because how the gatekeeper is supposed to stand by, make sure the gate doesn't open. It's like, where did Daijin come from? Like, how did it become the gatekeeper
originally?
And, because we got to see how when Soda was turned into the chair, became the gatekeeper, and it was locked in. He said for decades supposed to be. So it's just like, I want to know the whole backstory between the gatekeepers, the closers, and it's just like, how did Suzume open the gate? Like as a child, like that was confusing. I walked out the movie and I knew it was good because I'm over here like asking questions. I'm looking stuff up. How was she able to open the gate?
Right.
And how was she able to get into the ever after when you weren't supposed to be able to get there?
Mm-hmm. So, and I think the granddad of Sota mentioned a special gate, or he said the one you slipped through at a young age. Yeah,
he said you can only go through the one that you went through the first time. But it's like, how did she get through it the first time?
Yeah,
and,
bro.
Man, it was a whole mind type deal when you saw, because it was cool. I don't know if you caught it. She said, "Oh, I lost a chair once when I was young, and when I found it, it had a broken leg. I don't know what happened to it." And it's her giving it to herself because we just assumed it was her mom giving her the chair, and it's her the whole time.
Bro,
I was just like,
when she was in there and she grabbed the chair, I said, "Oh my God, it's her." I was feeling it, dog. I was feeling it. And to see yourself that young and crying like that, like trying to convince yourself it's gonna be okay, seeing how hurt you are, like, oh.
And because when I walked out, I was just like, "Well, what happened to her mom?" It's funny. Everybody's like, is she an opener? Like, do they have openers? Like, how did she get to the gate? Right. And I'm like, it's crazy because she's literally just searching for her mom. And they never really said, they just said her mom disappeared.
I think she died in the tsunami.
And yes, she was a part of the earthquake. She was a nurse. That's how she died.
Yeah.
And disappeared. But that was one thing that I was questioning. I'm just like, well, how did she die? And I'm like, oh, well, that's why. But then it still didn't tie together how she found that door.
Yeah, no, it was just like her mom died of the tsunami, natural causes, being in the hospital, and then she just happened on her own, separated from anything, found that door, and just trying to find her mom. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It really is. And then the thing is, did she leave the door when the aunt found her? Because I feel like the clip of the aunt finding her and saying, "You're my daughter now," it was snowy. So I guess she must have left when she got the chair. So the aunt could have been there because the aunt would have remembered that.
Remember, she walked out of the door.
Okay, Suzume did walk out.
It was snowing outside of the door.
Yeah.
And the ever after, we never seen it be anything but sunshine. So she was in there, and once she got the chair, I think that struck her, and then she went back out. And that's where she was.
That's when she found her. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I was kind of confused by it too. I was like, was it snowing in ever after? I'm like, nah, it couldn't be. So that was one thing. But so it was. That whole loop, I was just like, they did such a good job.
It was great. It was fantastic. It really was. I love.
And it's just crazy because I think there's something that was really different about it was, even though at times it felt like it was like a romantic type thing, like between like Suzume and Sota. I don't know if it really was, like, even the way they left in the end, it just like she genuinely just cared about him. She thought he was doing something important.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was a relationship there, like romantically, as so much as just platonic, them helping each other and just actually caring as a person.
I think it could have been either or, which is nice. I'd like that. So she was a junior in high school, he was in college. So it's kind of like, he is overaged or she's too young. And I could easily see her fall in love with him. I mean, who wouldn't after all of that, But at the end, it was he got the little mark on his eye and everything. What a stud. I mean, he was even good looking as a chair.
That
But
chair was moving.
he was moving as a chair, no doubt. But yeah, like at the end, like they just ended with a hug, and like platonic. It's like, okay, like yeah, down the road, they get older, cool. I mean, I hope they stay together forever, because I mean, what they went through was special. But yeah, I agree. Like platonic, whatever it is, no big kiss at the end, nothing like that. It was just special. The whole relationship with that chair, the full circle with the chair, and the mom, building it from scratch and bringing
Are
it
you done
back,
yet?
and man,
In full circle, the movie ends how it started. Them back on the hill, and she sees him, and he's
yep.
like, "Hey, like
Mm-hmm.
the rap that they did for this was just perfect. Like it was
Yeah.
flawless. Honestly, like I mean, I don't have a complaint about the movie. Like I really enjoyed it,
Yep.
and I know it's fresh. I mean, we just saw it, but I get why it's rated so highly. I mean, it's not much you could take away from it. They did a great job.
Yep. I
And
agree.
I was just talking about the other gatekeeper. That thing was huge.
Yeah.
The cat was so big. I was like, that's a panther, but it was cool seeing. I like that how it was fighting the worm and all.
Yeah.
It was just dope, the whole thing. But that whole place that they went into was really cool to see as well, because it was more darker than everything else was, bright, sunny, and they took it to literally like it looked like hell. Like
right.
so,
It felt like we went to the upside down in Stranger Things.
It really, even with the worm, it felt like that. It looks like the same thing. So
Yep.
it felt that way. So it was cool to have both sides, even if it was quick. You got to
Mhm.
see the other side of it.
Yeah.
So
So I'll tell you one thing. So mine, I went to was IMAX. So I don't know how it was for everybody, but whenever they were get to close the key and you could hear the memories and the voices of people, the way they did the audio, it was like one person was here on my left, one person's behind me. It really felt like spirits was like talking, and I'm like, oh my, I'm feeling it. Like it was just good.
Well, I gotta go back because I didn't get the whispers on
Well,
my
I'm
neck.
telling you, the whispers was like coming from which way side. Like it was like, no, they were there beside us. Like we were feeling it in there in a moment.
I would definitely go see it again. One, my chair didn't recline in my seats the first time, last time going to that theater. So two, I was prepared fully to go in and watch a 2-hour loop of the Suzume song, and I was excited for it. That's all I really wanted. And we only got a little piece of the song, so I lied. That's the only takeaway. I didn't get to hear the song, get it more, but the movie itself was beautiful. So it's all good.
I was the last person in theater at the end credits.
It's such a good song.
It's so good. And then I literally listened to the same song the whole way home, 20-minute drive, the same song. And then as I drove on my street to my house, I saw 2 cats outside. I never see cats. This where I live is always stray dogs. I promise you. I don't think I've ever seen a stray cat since I've been here for like a year and a half, and it was 2 outside on my way home.
You start seeing some worms in the air. Keep it moving, dog. Keep it to you.
I'm gonna act like I don't see it, dog.
That last one was so big. Like it was gonna kill everybody. Like literally everybody was gonna die. Like
and that's why Daijin still felt evil at that part, because there was no, oh, hurry, people are gonna die. Daijin's just like, 1 million people's gonna die. And I'm like, oh, you're so evil.
It's funny, my buddy got a cat. He was just like, yeah, that's cats. He's like, they don't care. He's like, that's literally what a cat is. And I'm just laughing. I was gonna get home and be mad at his cat for no reason. Yeah, it was just so complex as far as like the thinking in it. Like I felt like I was constantly waiting, what's next, or like, what do we got to do next? So I thought that kept me on the edge, like of the seat, literally just waiting for the next step of the movie, which was cool to see, because I mean, it was suspenseful, and I wasn't expecting it to be suspenseful. I just thought it was gonna be like a happy go movie. It was not.
Winning, not knowing nothing, y'all. The thing that caught us was the trailer and the song from the Demon Slayer movie, and doing this show, it kind of inspired us to try to push our boundaries, Black Clover style. And I'm really glad we did, because we will be looking at more movies. If you have other movies like this, whether it's Your Name or Weathering, other suggestions, please let us know, because we are more than happy to check those out, and maybe we'll recap some of those too.